What's up, party people of the SFL? Good evening and welcome to episode 10, yet a brand new version of Axis Live. I am your host, as always, Dave Axis. And if you guys in the chat, let me know if you can hear me pretty well. And I'm assuming you guys gave me some feedback, said the music was good. So if you can let me know if my microphone sounds good, that would be great. I got to tell you, I can't wait for you to see what we have in store for you tonight. I've been excited and chomping at the bit all day long. Check this out. Watch this right now. If you guys are watching your screen, check this out. First thing I'm going to show you. Ready? Boom. What's up? See the scrolling scores and stats on the screen? That is all courtesy of Geralt Winkler, my producer, and pretty much everything we're doing tonight is him. He has just crushed it over the last few days, getting everything going for our new format. So special thanks and shout out to him. That's just the first thing, by the way. The scrolling scores on the screen. I have graphics for tonight, straight from the SFL. I've got special guests. We got week one recaps. We're going to be talking about Jack's data and who you got. We're going to be talking about Diva of the Week nominees. Yes, I'm going to be doing a weekly award called Diva of the Week. That's going to be up to you guys to vote once we set the nominees. So we're going to have that set up starting tomorrow in my Axis Live server. And of course, we've got some giveaways that we're going to talk about in a little bit, and Gunny's Pearls of Wisdom, of course, and something we were going to try to do tonight, but we're going to push it off until Thursday. But I just want to get in your head right now is we're going to try to take some callers. So instead of just having you guys chat and message us, which you guys do a great job of, if somebody really has something they want to say or a game they want to talk about, or, a game that happened, or on Thursday when we preview games, if you want to talk about an upcoming game, then we're going to get you in. But what you have to do, and Geralt, I think he's going to try to put an invite in the Twitch feed. If not, on Discord, go to my Axis Live Discord server, and then that way you guys will get all the information. You'll be able to vote. You'll get all the announcements, all that stuff. All right. Let's see what's next. Obviously, we got a jam-packed show. Before we kick it off, let me show some love to my sponsors real quick. There's going to be a few extra peeps you'll see on the slideshow tonight, other than just the regular sponsors. First, the regulars, Bad Boy Custom Rods, for all your freshwater, saltwater, and fly fishing needs. If anybody ordered a rod from them, let me know, because I know there was a few of you that DM'd me personally for John's information. So if you guys put in an order for that, let me know. Also, Trick Apparel, who not only does my t-shirts and hats, but he's in the process of helping me design the giveaways that I've been talking about earlier, and I'll talk more about those near the end of the show. Armadillo Ale Works in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, of course. Or if you don't live there, you can find them at armadilloaleworks.com. I've also decided that in addition to the 3 regular sponsors I have on the screen throughout the shows, that I would open up my show to any SFL peeps who would like to advertise on my show free of charge. If you have a company or something that you want to advertise, let me DM me, and we can talk about it and get it on there. I'm not looking to make money off you guys. I just want to help out as much as I can. So if you want to advertise on the show, DM me. All that being said, we have our very first victim. Advertiser. Ace Fennick from my very own Lone Star Glory will be in the slideshow rotation on your screen with the company he's affiliated with, which is called 4-Star Services, Inc. They are a flatbed trunking company that hauls building materials all over Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Iowa. So basically all your Big Ten states. And if you have any flatbed needs, you need a flatbed, or you just have questions about it, DM Ace and he will hook you up. You'll also see some graphics for Jack's Data and Sim Scouts Inc. Now, Sim Scouts Inc. is the guys that used to be Scouts Inc. They changed their name. They're the guys who did the draft mocks for us, or the guys who did the draft grades. I'll be using both of their services, all season long. So they're here to stay. All right, that was a lot. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. I also put the charity for Lone Star on the rotation. If you guys have the charity for your team or for yourself that you would like to put on my show, DM me that too, because I think it would be great if we get as many of those on here as possible. So go ahead and DM me if you want to put your charity on here as well. All right. Let's see. Who's in the chat tonight? Let me see here. Holy smokes. There's a lot of people here. Let's see. We got Hugo Gunny's here, of course. We got Doug Day in the house. Benji, what's up? What did we get? Kramer. Nice field goal yesterday, bro. Art Vandelay's here. Good to see you, Art. Try not to talk too much tonight, though, if you can. Foxy, what's going on, bro? Falco, what's up? I love seeing all these names. The Crim Reaper's here. I see Freddie. I see Cam Curtis is in the house. Bob Funk, what's up? Man, there's a lot of you guys here. Deacon Nickens is in the house. What else we got? Easy, my boy Easy from the Marine Corps. He's a friend of mine. He's not in the SFL, but he supports me. I appreciate that. Dynasty's here. Man, we got a lot of you guys tonight, so good deal. So like I said, we got a humongously packed show. Don't forget to @ Geralt in the chat if you guys have questions or comments. There you go, for the panel tonight or for myself. So with no further ado, let me get to our panelists tonight. I love you too, Dougie. Handstand, baby. A couple of them you've already... Actually, I think you know all of them. So let me just get to it. So from Sim Scouts Inc., we've got Eagle Mondavi. Eagle, what's going on, bro?
How we doing, Dave? Hi, everybody.
Doing outstanding. Also from Sim Scouts Inc., we have Thomas Smith. Thomas, what's going on?
Good evening, everybody. How you doing?
And our third panelist for tonight is Chad Rowland, the GM from Baltimore. Chad, what's up?
Hey, Dave. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. So Frank the Franchise Wade was going to join us as well. Unfortunately, he had some surgery this morning. So if you guys can send out your thoughts and prayers for him and well wishes, we would appreciate it. He was going to be on the show tonight, but, I don't know how many people can have surgery and come on the show. I know I wouldn't try it. So let's jump right into this thing here. Let me see if I get a handle on these new graphics, man. Geralt, he gave me so much stuff to do. All right. First game of this past week, and we're going to review every single game. All right, check out these awesome graphics we got, by the way, from the SFL. You guys ready for this? Look at that bad mamma jamma right there. So first game is it goes to Thomas, Baltimore and Atlanta. Thomas, give me a recap on this game. Tell me what you thought about this.
From start to finish, honestly, this was a really exciting game to watch. Everybody sat there for 3 months between season 14 and season 15, just chomping at the bit, waiting on the season to come back. And we definitely started with a good one between Atlanta and Baltimore. It honestly was an exciting game to watch the whole time. Seeing Bryant Dynasty come out, replacing Marcus Dunhill, everybody was wondering how he was going to come out, how he was going to look, and he looked phenomenal out there.
He did. He looked
throwing
insanely.
380 yards,
Yep.
4 touchdowns, being the only quarterback all week to not throw an interception. He played a phenomenal game. I think he definitely attributed heavily to their win there. I think the one thing that shocked me was seeing BDG only getting 12 carries. That blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and Boo Chisholm had a game, right?
Yeah, he went for, I think it was 9 for 180 something and 3 touchdowns. Him and Bryant were linking up the whole game.
Boo was player of the game too. Right.
Right.
You got any more to add on that for right now?
Just looking at the other side of the spectrum, Baltimore definitely showed up to play too. I mean, a lot of people forget because of Bryant's stats that it was only a 3-point game. Baltimore was in it the whole time. They played a good game, had a good running game, good passing game, just a consistent game. Just at the end of the day, Atlanta came out on top.
Yeah, Chad's over there wishing that was true, right?
Right.
Let's see here. We've got. Here's the thing. As they preview, as they recap each game, I'm gonna throw out some Jack's data and the who you got, so we can kind of see how the league is, how we're doing as a whole in picking these games and stuff. So Jack's data had this game as a pick'em, which was great. I mean, obviously it came down to the wire, which is a smart pick. Over under, they had a 51.5. They actually scored 67, so a little off on that. But us as a league picked Atlanta 153-76, so that started us off 1-0 for the weekend on the who you got. Second game of the week. Hold on, let me pull this up. It's gonna go a little slow at first, but I'll get used to it, you guys. We had Fort Worth at Houston. 2 of the 3 Texas teams battling. Eagle, this is on you. What do you got for this game?
Yeah, this was an absolute barn burner from the start. Houston ended up pulling it out at the end. Big interception from Jacob Clear with just under 30 seconds left. Mm-hmm. He returned that. I think it was like 46 yards or 48 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
And then DJ Sims got his first career touchdown. He only came in the game just because Warren Murray got hurt early in that game.
That's DR's kid, right?
Yeah. So DJ got that. I was pulling for Fort Worth a little bit. You know, you want to see that expansion team get that win in that first game. But if I was Fort Worth, I would be happy with how everything turned out. A lot of positives that they could see. Was it Robert Garrett Jr.? He ended up with 121 yards with a touchdown. Hacker got 61 yards and a touchdown. Xander Gold ended with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Delaney Nash, rookie, strong safety, he led Fort Worth with 8 tackles. So you can't. Yeah. And then back to Houston, though, Ethan Kai actually got his first career pick 6 early in that game when there was like some technical difficulties. It was a 51-yard return.
Yeah, I saw that. Good for you, Ethan.
Oh, and then one other one was Brody Gulch got a fumble recovery touchdown. So that's another shout out to another rookie right there.
Wow. So for all of that, yeah, lots of action in that game. Houston in the battle for Texas has the early leg up. Let's see. Jack's data had Houston by 3.5, so they weren't too far off. And over under at 39. So that was a little off. But yay, real quick too, let me just say, yes, I'm talking about the Jack's data and the who you got stuff. But Jack's data for week 1, not having any information on teams for the most part, especially all these new teams, I think they did a phenomenal job. So a few of these games are going to be a little off, but that doesn't take away from the phenomenal job they did this weekend. Let's see. Oh, and then the crowd, the SFL peeps, we started off 2-0. We had Houston 148-85 in the Who You Got. So that's 2-0 out the gate for the Who You Got for us. So let's see. Game 3 I got on my schedule is Louisiana at St. Louis. That's going to be you, Chad. I'm sure there's a lot to talk about this game, Johnny, going back to St. Louis and all the things that happened. So I'll turn it over to you and let you talk about it.
Yeah, so going off of what you just said, stories. These names you can put in your book here: Grisham, King, Clancy. They couldn't even write stories like this, to be honest. Quarterback Johnny Pickler and Gerald Smith coming back to St. Louis. All the new players and coaches on the offense for St. Louis. How is this going to go down? That's what everybody wanted to know.
Right.
Well, Louisiana jumped out to a quick lead on the first drive thanks to a 1-yard TD run by Reggie Streeter. But this game for the Revolution was about two things: Streeter and that defense. That defense accounted for 7 interceptions.
Wow.
You heard me, 7. They had more picks than I had draft picks recently.
Ouch.
A less than stellar performance from Vasquez in his debut, but obviously he's got some big shoes to fill. But I am sure that judging off of the people that I know in St. Louis and in that coaching staff, they're going to have this team in shape pretty quickly. So just going over a few of the stats, Pickler 23 of 29 for 230 and a touchdown, 3 picks with a 79.3% completion. Vasquez 22 of 41 for 243, 1 TD, but he has 7 picks in this ball game, completing 53% of his passes. Streeter, like I said, he was just a man on a mission. 32 carries for 134 yards and a TD, 4 catches for 11 yards out of the backfield. Cairo Martinez, though, had a pretty decent outing, 13 carries for 92 yards. So, played really well. The wide receiver core, obviously, Cody Scott getting a touchdown. Eagle Mondavi, Eagle on the show with us, 7 catches for 78. So, like I said, getting all those pieces together is going to be, the key for St. Louis, but I think they'll get that done. And then to highlight the defense on that side, Evan Arthur with 3 picks.
Yeah, that was insane. I saw that. And one of them he returned for 40, 50 yards?
Like over 50 yards if I remember correctly. Yeah. Tank Bennett, Nathan Blake each with a pick. But not to take away from St. Louis's defense as well, because we know how good they are. Igor had 2 sacks. Dubstat, I think that's how you say it, had a sack. And then Reilly, Warner, and Douglas each had an interception. So there was just a lot of, the story was turnovers. But like I said, this was a story that needed to be told about between Louisiana and St. Louis with all the other headlines.
Nice, yeah. Gerald said in the chat he had 9 tackles. He said that day too.
Yeah, that's right.
And here's the thing: I think St. Louis's defense is pretty solid for the most part, and I think they'll get that offense going. And I think we're going to see some vast improvements from them. Let's see. Jack's data on St. Louis had St. Louis +4, and so obviously, Louisiana covered. Check this out. Jack's data had the over/under at 39.5, and they scored 40 points. They're with a half a point in that game. That is amazing. That's phenomenal. And then to take the SFL crowd to 3-0, we chose Louisiana 160-72 in the Who You Got. So right out the gate, we were just crushing it. Let's see. The next game we're going to recap here is we've got London at Tulsa. This was a game I think, if I remember, and I'll talk about the numbers in a minute, but I think almost everybody had Tulsa, and London really hung in there, Eagle. So what do you got to say about that game?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I was on the side where I thought, in all honesty, Tulsa was going to win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
London held well. It's like I was shocked. To be completely honest, I didn't watch the whole game at first, but then I went back and watched it all. This was more of a game for Gabriel Manning than anything else. This was a statement game, going back to play London, and he went off. He had 10 catches for 266 yards and a touchdown.
And that Diva celebration in the end zone after one of them. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, you would know those Diva celebrations.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Angus. He ended up throwing 3 picks for London. I think that was kind of a little bit of the issue right there. Kane Vasquez got 2 of those interceptions. Fox Highland, I'm going to give him a shout out on his birthday.
Foxy on his birthday. Yeah, go ahead.
We got a touchdown, 76 yards receiving. A little different, though, from London because they moved Robert Merrill, I believe, from running back to from wide receiver to running back. And then they drafted 2 running backs at wide receiver. So Robert Merrill, though, he ended up with 16 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown. That's an overall great game there.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, and then Eric Surratt, another rookie. I'm just, I try to find whatever rookie does the best in the game. Eric, he ended up with 3 tackles, an assist, and 2 sacks to lead London. I believe the burner got a sack as well.
The burner got a sack as well. Okay.
Yeah, no, just again, if the SFL, we all thought Tulsa was going to win big, and London, they showed up. And so I'm giving, if I was London, same thing with Fort Worth. I would be happy with this performance going on as progression goes on during the season.
Yeah, Tulsa Desperados in the chat. I don't know who that is from their team, but he said people sleeping on London. They got some pieces. Yeah, and they showed that against Tulsa on Sunday.
Yeah, look right below. They've got Jeff and Benji right there. I mean,
yeah,
alone right there. Those they're phenomenal.
And just above them, Fox. So I mean, London's in the house tonight for sure. And hey, again, congrats, Fox, for your first catch, your first touchdown on your birthday. That was phenomenal. Let's see what we got for Jack's data. Had Tulsa favored by 3. So they definitely covered that, but again, it was close. So that's a solid pick for Jack's data. They over under 31.5 there was 41 points scored in this game, which I got to tell you, anything within 10 points on week 1 with all these unknowns, I think is just phenomenal. A phenomenal job by them. And then where did I lose it right there? Oh, and yeah, I was right about the overwhelming numbers. We hit the SFL peeps 182-52 in favor of Tulsa for that game. So look at that. What is that? 4-0 out the gate. Look at we're not even halfway there. We're undefeated in our who you got. Let's see. Who's next? We got Vancouver at Jacksonville. Now this was, I think, one of could be actually called the game of the weekend. I mean, I think everybody was looking forward to it. We'll talk about the spreads later, but it came down to the wire. Phenomenal game. Thomas, you've got this one. What do you got regarding Vancouver and Jacksonville?
For me, this was definitely a fun game to watch, but I think this game did kind of have a theme. I think turnovers was the theme on this game. A couple of the big things to me was that Dean Maddox 83-yard pick 6. I think that's one of the big things that kept Vancouver in this game. Vancouver, honestly, only losing by 2 points. They were in this game the whole time. Jacksonville went out to an early lead to start out with. I believe it was early 10-0 lead, and Vancouver from that point stayed in the game. I just think those 3 interceptions that Pepper threw, and then the 3 times he got sacked, I think that was the big reason Vancouver just kind of struggled
the difference in the
get those
game.
points on the board. Right.
I agree with you.
Past that, I mean, it was an overall good game. Vancouver's defense showed up. Jacksonville's defense showed up. It was a great game to watch.
Yeah, is it Dean Maddox that had that long? Was it a pick 6? It was, right? 90 yards or something?
83-yard pick 6.
83 yards, yeah. Wow. Dude, I love me some pick 6s. What were the highlights for Jacksonville in that game? Do you remember? I'm trying to think.
Honestly, I know Jared Willis had a really good game on the ground, really consistent. Both running backs actually got over 100 yards in this game, so the running game was definitely efficient on both sides.
Yeah, I think I saw Hunter Norwood had a couple sacks too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It was a solid game all around, honestly. There was no point where it was like, oh, this game's getting kind of dull. It was a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was. Let's see what the Jacks data people had to say about their own team. They had themselves favored by 4. I mean, that's really close, within a couple points, so that was great. Over under was 59.5. They only scored 44, so that was not quite there, not quite on target. But the SFL peeps again, to go 5-0 to start the weekend, 166-65 in favor of Jacksonville, which I got to tell you, sounds pretty gutsy knowing this was a close game and the score was that close. I'm actually surprised that many people picked Jacksonville, to be honest with you. Let's see. Okay, so somebody just put in the chat, we can skip the Portland game or something like that. No, we're not skipping any games. Let's see. Who's got Portland? Am I going back to you, Chad, for that one?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Let's do, before we talk about this, or if you don't mind, let's start off with some positives for Portland from this game, because I know everybody, this was the biggest blowout of the weekend, but I mean, they were an expansion team playing quite possibly the best team in the SFL. I'm not sure.
13 rookies playing.
What's that?
With 13 rookies on the field.
Yeah, with
too.
13 rookies, right. So, Chad, start off with some positives with Portland as you recap this game.
Yeah, so, and that's what I was going to point out, was obviously with 13 rookies on the field going up against one of, if not the best defenses in the SFL, it was a tough task. I mean, it really was. Even though you have a veteran coming back in Matt South, Matt South with 20 of 30 for 211 and a TD, 3 picks. I mean, if he takes down those picks a little bit, I think they're going to be just fine. Truzman, obviously 18 carries for 54 yards. Granted, it's going up against this Sioux Falls defense, but you want to see that yards per carry go up, because I believe that's about 3 yards a carry, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But a really bright spot for them was wide receiver Connor Weston. I mean, he's a rookie coming in. Shout out to Connor, 6 catches for 107 yards and a TD.
Wow.
Granted, it was a garbage time TD, as they want to call it, but still, you get to see the skill set that Connor brings to that team.
Yeah, and so between him and Art and them, I think they're going to be fine. And Truzman, they have a lot of offensive weapons. I think that was just a bad way to have to display them.
It was a bad draw. It was a very bad draw for him.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, even just falling on the other side, I mean, Sioux Falls just showed why they're one of the best teams in the SFL. I mean, Julian Tyree, 18 for 22, 224 with 2 TDs and 2 picks. Colin Hart just dominated. I mean, 23 carries, 166 yards, 2 TDs, 5 catches for 32 out of the backfield. Gunnar Lewis was the main target for Tyree, going 6 catches for 101 and 2 TDs. So, Jay Ringgold on the defensive side of the ball had 2 picks. They had a couple sacks as a team total. So Sioux Falls just, doing the same thing as they always do, just rolling through. So
right.
Yeah.
Art Vandalay in the chat wanted to make sure you mentioned that he had 1 catch. Did you mention that?
No, but congrats to Art for
right.
1 catch for 4 yards, I think it was.
There you go. Hey, you know what? Everybody's got to start somewhere, bro. You got your first one. Art, it's all downhill from here, baby. Yeah, so I think Thursday we'll talk about we'll preview all the games coming up on the weekend. I can't wait to see who Portland plays and preview that game on Thursday. Let's see. What did Jack's Data have to say about them? Jack's Data had Sioux Falls favored by 7, which they definitely covered. But here's another close one. Check this out, you guys. They had the over-under at 47.5, and there was 44 points in that game. I'm telling you, these Jack's Data guys are on the ball. Overwhelmingly, I think this was the biggest landslide vote in the Who You Got. That was 189 for Sioux Falls to only 49 for Portland. So not really surprised by that either, to be honest with you. Let's see who we got next. Oh, this is a game. I don't know. Let me see who's got this game. Okay, Chicago at Mexico City. Eagle, I think that's you again. But I got to tell you, here's the thing. This was one of the games I think I was looking forward to the most. And to be honest with you, I was kind of disappointed. How did you feel about it?
You actually took the words out of my mouth.
I'm sorry. Right? Maybe I should stop talking, let you guys talk, and then I'll let afterwards.
Like, people were talking about Sioux Falls in the Portland game being the biggest blowout kind of over the weekend. But in all honesty, I think it was in this game here, Mexico City over Chicago. I mean, you would think with Chicago that they would have some sort of structure, and they just got absolutely destroyed. Mexico City just beat them down. Yeah, they got 21 points, but 2 of those touchdowns were garbage touchdowns.
Yeah, I was going to say, the score does not do the game justice at all. You're right.
No, absolutely not. I mean, what was interesting to me about this game was Ash Odom and Phoenix Jones really didn't rush the ball at all. They didn't get many options. E.T. King, though, he threw the ball 53 times in this game for Chicago for 443 yards, as you can see in the graphic. He had 3 touchdowns. Two of those were to Varner, who Shan might have had his career game ever in the SFL with 191 yards and 2 touchdowns. JT Torres got the other touchdown, and he was over 110 yards. But he had 5 interceptions. 2 of those were to Han. He returned one of those for 95 yards for a touchdown return.
I saw that. That was awesome.
Yeah, and then Matthew Lee, Jeffrey Daggs, and Jack Napier all got one. I mean, Matt Wilson on the other side, he threw for 285 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also had 2 picks. I mean, we're going back to what Thomas said. Bryant really was a standout quarterback this weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With not throwing an interception. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the stats here, and just by looking at the stats, you would think Chicago dominated with all those yards and those passing yards. But those, like you said, a lot of that came in garbage time at the end of the game.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Mexico City. They played fantastic.
Well, I think that's
They had 5 sacks. Yeah, I mean, their defensive line alone, Stover, Krim, and Brock Lee had 4 sacks between the 3 of them, and then Kingsley had 1 as well. It's crazy. It's completely. I was shocked, to be completely honest. I figured Chicago would hold a lot closer, and it was just an absolute blowout.
Well, we know Mexico City's always been tough at home, so I guess we'll see. When we preview games on Thursday, we'll see where Chicago's going next week to play, and see if things look any different for them next week. The Jax Data team had Mexico City favored by 3, and they blew that out of the water. But the over-under was 45.5, and they scored 55. So within that 10 points, I think is phenomenal. The unfortunate news here is in the Who You Got, the SFL fans, we finally lost a game. We all had Chicago 137-93 for our first loss of the Who You Got. So we started off 6-0. Now we're 6-1.
Can I chime in for 1 second, Dave?
Yeah.
I want to just make sure that I voted for Mexico City, so I did not lose.
I think you're just saying that
because
you're just saying that because the Crim Reaper is creeping around in the chat here right now.
No, we've got Mexico City this weekend, so I'm not worried.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see. Let's move on to Queen City in Florida. Who's got this game? That would be Chad again. I kind of felt the same way about this game I did about Chicago, Mexico City. I think I was expecting a lot more offense.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. Just looking at the stats and everything else in this, you could just tell that it was kind of a low offensive affair. Caswell leading the way, 30 for 40 with 308 yards, 2 TDs and a pick. Jet Zero for Queen City going 10 for 53 yards, 6 receptions, for 35. So, getting that run game up a little bit will probably help. But Matthews Jr., 8 catches for 120 yards and a TD. Chris Curtis still rocking at 5 catches for 42 and a TD. Even on the other side of the ball, E.J. Minson played out of his mind. 11 catches for 103 yards. So he had a very good game.
And he just moved from tight end to wide receiver. That was his first game at wide receiver.
Exactly. His first game at wide receiver. And then Jeff Como, 3 catches for 48 yards. He had the lone TD for Ron Cochran. But this is just, it seemed to me like you expected offense and there wasn't any offense. So
do you think the defenses were just that good, or did the offenses not play up to par?
Both defenses are good. You have, Jeff Duffy, who's just a freak at defensive end. He had a sack. Dave Tilley had 2 sacks. Begin also had a sack as well, and also an interception. So, had a good game there as well. And on Florida's side, Davidson had an interception for them, but it just was a defensive battle. I was expecting offensive battle, but it ended up being a defensive battle.
Yeah. So last question on this, and then I'll go to the Jax Data information. I think going into this game, I think everybody had these 2 teams in the playoff run for sure. Do you think they're both in the playoff run? You think they're both going to make the playoffs?
Judging off of this game, and that's all I'm going to go off of, I think Queen City is. Even though they lost a couple pieces, due to Nacho and Hacker going for their own team and everything else, but I think that Queen City is definitely a playoff team for sure. Florida is kind of on the fringe, I think, but you never know; they could surprise you. I mean, watching EJ Minson play, I mean, I was kind of worried about their wide receiver core a little bit, but really he's helped solidify that along with Como.
Right. Okay. The Jax Data team had Florida favored by 3, so that didn't go the way they thought. And then actually, and I think Jax Data was right along with us, Chad. They had the over/under at 44.5 and only 27 points. So I think Jax Data, including all of us, expected a lot more offense in that game. The who you got though? Now we have a 2-game losing streak going now, SFL peeps. We had Florida 132 to 106, and so now we're 6-2 for the weekend. Things are starting to go on the downhill slope here. Let's see what game could possibly be next. Oh snap! Arizona at Lone Star. Eagle, you got this one. I'm not going to say a word.
Yeah, Lone Star won 24-10. Let's go. On to the next game.
I mean, I could say a whole lot more words.
No, this was another one that was a little shocking to me, at least. I will say Lone Star, they played phenomenal. They changed my mind a little bit with how just in this one game with it. I mean, Eddie Gage is doing a lot over there now in Arizona, so now we're going to see what Eddie can truly do. I know he's running the offense and the defense, and from what I was told before, he's a defensive guru. So let's see if now he becomes an offensive guru. What do you like? What do you think about that, Dave?
Here's the thing. I don't want to talk too much about this game because everybody knows, I'll throw out words like glorious and what have you. Here's the thing. We knew who we were, but like everybody else, we don't know who the opponent is in week 1. There's no real scouting per se. And I got to tell you, number one, it felt really good, but more importantly, I just think that we had a nice, solid, balanced attack that ended up working for us at the end of the day. I mean, we ran the ball, we threw the ball. I mean, I think our defense played phenomenal. I mean, Juke and Rukin had, I think, 3 sacks and 4 tackles for loss. I mean, I just think that we played how we needed to play in the first game, and it worked out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Ace, out of the 3 rookie quarterbacks, Ace had the second best, game this weekend, of course. I was a little surprised with Ashley Jackson. She only ended up with 172 passing yards. I figured there'd be a little bit more. Eddie Gage, though, he's the GOAT. We all know that for safety. He added 2 more picks to his career, his Hall of Fame career. I mean, I'll even talk about you for a second, Diva. You ended up with a touchdown, Great job on that.
Thank you, Eagle. I know that was really hard for you to say.
It was really difficult to say, actually. I thought about stopping. Liam Hammer ended with 145 yards to continue what I think is a great career that he has had so far in this league from Chicago to you guys in Lone Star. He hasn't even played for a full season yet, and I still think he's probably one of the best wide receivers in this league.
I absolutely agree with you. He's going to be an all-star this year for sure.
4 results.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a shout out to Thomas that's here with us. He ended up with a pick with Lincoln Kingseed. Gunny and Freddie, they led your team with tackles. I think Hugo got a sack. I really wish I would have saw some more with the Hands brothers from Arizona, giving them the ball a little bit more. But again, offense takes time to figure out, and I'm sure everything will be fine in the long run over there.
Yeah, week 1's hard. And, and to Eddie's credit, he said he was a little concerned about us with his sims that week leading up. And, week 1 is week 1. Let's see what, everybody, including Lone Star, does from here.
I got one. I'll let Chad go first.
I was just going to jump in for 2 seconds. Just, granted, Arizona's offense, they scored 10 points. But I'll tell you, if there's anybody in this league that's going to figure offense out and has a hell of a work ethic, it's Eddie Gage.
Oh, absolutely.
So just wanted to point that out because I think once he figures it out, that team's going to be scary.
Yep, I agree. You know what? I hope Arizona goes 11-1. Eagle, what were you going to say?
Just my last shout out to your 2 more of your rookies on Lone Star, Ike and Cameron, for both getting touchdowns in their first game. That was it.
Awesome.
Just passing the rookie love.
Got it. Perfect. So Jack's data had Lone Star favored by 3, so we covered that. Another great over-under for them, though. They had it at 39.5, and we scored 34 points. So, again, unfortunately, the SFL peeps are now on a 3-game losing streak because you traders all picked Arizona to beat my Lone Star Glory 151-85. What's wrong with you people? Actually, you know what? Going into week 1, I might have done the same thing, so who knows. Let's see. We only got, I think, 2 more games left to cover. Let's see. Game number 10. Oh, so we're moving on to Monday night, which was just last night. 2 great games. The first game was Carolina at Charleston, which completely surprised me. How about you, Chad?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is – yeah. I mean, obviously, really, there's no other way to describe it. I mean, who you got had Charleston, I think, like 170 to 64 or something like that.
Yep.
Just insane. So, when I was writing this up and watching this game, I was blown away. So I got to be nice to the Skyhawks, obviously. But can the Skyhawks start off in the right direction? Well, Charleston show they're one of the top teams in the SFL. This is what we're here to find out. So, taking a line from Eagle earlier, this game was a barn burner. Charleston got started off with a 12-yard TD pass to Buchanan Simons. But after each team traded interceptions, the Sky Rats, I had to at least throw it in there one time.
Of course you did.
Of course. Answered back with a 3-yard TD pass to Logan Jack. Then we're going to fast forward to the fourth where Carolina was down 4. Sully Richardson, can't say enough about the guy. I mean, he puts in the work.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be, I think, a sneaky pick for one of the top quarterbacks in the league this year. Led them down on what would become a game-winning drive and capped it off with a 9-yard TD pass to Jack Flash. And that's where this game was decided with a 24-21 victory. And also an added bonus, Harish did not get injured in this game. So
wow. Ray Ray's 1 game down, 11 more to go for her prediction this season, saying Harish would not get hurt.
There you go. See, she's on a roll. So going over some stats in here, Sully 35 of 43 for 290 yards, 2 T's and a pick, 81% completion. So good game from him. TD Drew, I think he might have been calling some people out about that game. I'm not 100% sure. I thought I read that somewhere. 25 of 35 for 214, a touchdown and 2 picks. Logan Jack, 12 carries for 47 yards and a touchdown. 21 catches for 80 yards.
Wow.
And a touchdown for Logan Jack. So the swing pass was in effect, that's for sure.
Well, it was a lot of receptions, but not a lot of yards. Yeah. That's like 4 yards. Well, I guess 4 yards a carry, definitely.
4 yards a carry, right? But chunk after chunk after chunk, helping them get first downs, getting the eventual, not the eventual, but the first TD of the ball game.
Right.
Keith Swearingen. I've always said that I think Keith Swearingen is going to be a monster this year. 22 carries for 145 yards, 2 TDs. He only had 3 catches for 10 yards, but they weren't using the swing pass a lot either. Wide receiver core, obviously Shea Carroll going 4 for 83. Jack Flash getting that game-winning touchdown. 2 catches for 14 yards, but he got that 1 catch when it mattered. Buchanan Simons, 4 catches for 28 yards and a TD. Jay Taylor, the tight end, 6 receptions for 78 yards. So showing some love to the tight ends here.
Yeah.
Christopher Colon had a sack. Tristan Hatley with 2 picks for Carolina. That was one of the keys, I think, was Tristan's defensive play. So good job to him. Jeff Hollywood had a sack, and then Caledon Holly with an interception. Charleston.
Yeah, I hope that this was just a hiccup for Charleston. I actually had Charleston in the survivor pool yesterday for this weekend. And
a lot of people did.
I honestly, and I mean, Carolina showed up and they proved a lot of people wrong. So again, like I said about a couple other teams, I'm looking forward to seeing the Charleston preview on Thursday. Jack's data had Charleston by 10. Obviously, that didn't go correctly. Over-under was 37.5, and they got 45, so they're within that kind of 10-point margin I talked about before. And then the losing streak continues after a 6-game winning streak. Now the who you got, we got a 4-game losing streak. Exactly what Chad said, 170 to 64 in favor of Charleston. Last but certainly not least, we've got Vice Wars. Again, another game, one of I think 3 or 4 games this weekend, I think that didn't quite live up to the hype. Thomas, what do you think about that?
Oh, I disagree with you there. It's Vice War. Come on.
I know, but bro, it just wasn't close. I couldn't pull my eyes away from the TV watching this game. Denver was going off for the longest time, just watching Denver rack up those points, and then watching Tom Noodle come out there and just sling that ball. He would not stop throwing. Got sacked 5 times, still throwing the ball.
through 3 picks. He's still slinging that ball. Got 140 yards out there to Johnny Blades, threw 2 touchdowns to Garrison, Frank the Franchise Wade Blue. I had a lot of fun watching this game. I honestly couldn't keep my eyes away from it. Watching Denver just put all those points up, dropping the first 40 piece of the season. And
there definitely was a lot of yards. I don't know what the grand total was, but it was over 1,000 yards or something, right?
Right, yeah, it was pushing close to 1,000 yards, and it was just a gunslinging game. Then Jared McChesney out there with almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Man, Denver was just moving that ball.
And I heard somebody kicked a little field goal or something too. Did you hear anything about that?
He did. Their kicker there, Kramer Jackman, broke the record, hitting a 56-yard field goal.
I'm really interested to see where Las Vegas goes from here. I mean, I think we knew going in that Vegas would have a hard time running the ball this season, which is one of the reasons why they went 4 wide receivers along with who's the other team that went 4 wide receivers? Was that Florida?
I know Carolina has 4 wide receivers.
I think so. If Florida did, I don't know. I thought I saw a couple Florida people. If you guys can tell me in the chat if that's true, then the 4 wide receiver thing may not be working as good as people thought. Maybe I'm not sure. The Jack's Data people had Denver by 3. They, more than covered that. 51.5 on the over under though. That's pretty good, within 10 to 60. And after a 6-game winning streak and then a 4-game losing streak, the SFL peeps on the Who You Got finally closed it out with a victory. We chose Denver 158 to 75. So we went 7-5 on the weekend, which is not great, but in the SFL, probably good enough to get you in the playoffs, I think. So, Gunny, are you ready by any chance? Let me see if I
yes, sir.
Okay, let me get you all set up here. I was kind of not on the ball. Real quick though, while I'm waiting for while Gunny's waiting for me to get set up, make sure you guys, if you want to be involved in what I'm going to talk about in a minute with the giveaways and Diva of the Week and getting announcements and all that kind of stuff, please join the Access Live server on Discord so that way we can get you all the information and you guys will be able to go on there and do the voting that we do and stuff, okay? All right, Gunny, I'm ready if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Good evening, SFL. I'd like to congratulate to the 2 new teams and the 2 removed teams their first points of the season. Fort Worth, first points were scored by Taco Sicario with a field goal. First touchdown scored by Stephen Hacker. Louisiana Revolution, first points were a touchdown by Reggie Streeter, the running back. Portland, first points a touchdown, receiving by Connor Weston. Lone Star Glory, first points was a touchdown by fullback Cameron Collier. Gunny wants to give a shout out to some cornerback love. Evan Arthur of Louisiana, 6 tackles, 5 solo, 3 interceptions, one to the house for a touchdown. Dean Maddox, Vancouver, 10 tackles, 6 solo, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception, 1 touchdown of 83 yards. Merrick Iteria, Las Vegas, 10 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception. And Davidson Joseph, Carolina, 7 tackles, 2 pass deflections. And again, Lone Star Glory Charity is objectivezero.org with Gunny's 6 tackles times $2 a piece. That's a $12 donation in my name. That is all. Carry on for the evening.
Awesome, Gunny. Thank you so much, and thank you for the Objective Zero donation and the love you guys are giving them. Really appreciate that. Just a little quick note. It's 10 till, so we're going to go over a little bit. This, like I said, new format tonight, new graphics thanks to the SFL. Lots of work by Geralt putting all this together. Nice scrolling screen of scores and stats you see. So we're kind of working out the kinks. We'll always try to get the show around an hour, but we're going to go a little over tonight. So I'm going to start something, and I know you guys have heard a little bit about it. I put it on some of my advertising graphics. I'm going to start a weekly award. It's going to be called the Diva of the Week, and you all know where I got that from. So the Diva of the Week award is kind of wide open. And what's going to happen is whoever's on the panel that Tuesday will be able to nominate people for the Diva of the Week award. And what I'm going to do is we're going to set it up in the server for you guys to vote. You go to the server and vote, and then you will. I don't want you guys to know the results, though, because I want to tell you on Thursday. And then on Thursday, I'm going to try as many times as possible to get the Diva of the Week on the show on Thursdays. And there's going to be some giveaways. Now, I talked about giveaways earlier in my intro. I'm not going to tell you what they are yet. They're still being worked on. They're a few weeks away, but I will be keeping track of everybody who gets one. So Diva of the Week will always get one. And then I'm also, anybody who has asked a question or a comment or done something in the chat, I will go through every show with these guys, and we'll find somebody else. And if we draw your name, then you're going to get a giveaway as well. One other thing that we are hoping to put into the show, it'll probably only be on Thursdays because Tuesday's show will be full, is I want to see if I can get some of you guys, instead of just texting your questions and comments in the chat, I want to see if I can actually get you guys on the air. If you hear somebody and you have a question for them, or you want to make a comment about a certain game or a team, then we want to get you on the air. We're going to do that on a trial basis on Thursday, see if we can work it out properly. That's another reason why it's important for you guys to get into the server, because I can't get you on the air if I don't have you in the server. Okay, hopefully all of that made sense. If not, you can listen back to the show. Just forward to this part, I guess. All right. So this week we have nominees, and this is what's going to happen every Tuesday. The panel will be doing the nominees for Diva of the Week. Let's see. Nominee number 1. Let's see. Let's go to Chad. Chad, who is your Diva of the Week nominee for Week 1?
So going off of what the Diva of the Week is supposed to be about, great performances and just overall just being the Diva of the league, I went with Evan Arthur, cornerback from Louisiana. Obviously a great game from him, as even Gunny mentioned in his Pearls of Wisdom. 3 picks, took one back to the house. He stood out to me from everybody else, so that's my pick.
Okay, awesome. Eagle, who is your nominee for Diva of the Week?
You know who needs love out there? Kickers. They need love. Kramer Jackman.
Kramer.
You are my Diva of the Week selection with that record field goal, 4 for 4, showing up in Vice War 6. So Kramer, you're my guy.
57-yard field goal. He was in earlier. Kramer, are you still on the? Are you still in the chat? Are you still? Oh yeah, look at him. There you go. I won't say that.
I
on
got
the air.
you. Kickers need love, Kramer. I got you.
There you go. Awesome. Thomas, who do you have?
My Diva of the Week is going to be the guy who I think got more hate than anybody in the offseason, Mr. Johnny Pickler.
Ooh.
Showing up in Week 1 and beating his old team 30-10. I think he had a good game, and I'd put him out there for Diva of the Week.
Wow. Okay, that was pretty good. Let's see, Gunny. Did you have somebody for Diva of the Week? Where'd Gunny go? Did we lose him?
No, he's muted right now.
Okay. How about Geralt? Geralt, are you listening? I think I was going to ask you if you had somebody as well. Do you have somebody you want to put up for Diva of the Week? Geralt, my producer? Man, where's everybody? Gunny's gone. Geralt's gone. They're not going to have a
I'm
chance.
right here.
Oh, man.
I want to give a shout out to Frank Champion. I mean, that dude played amazing. Really good defense on a team of rookies, showing them how to get it done, and he's going to be a great leader for those rookies on defense. Excited to see more of that.
Awesome. Gunny, are you back yet?
I hope so.
I hope so too, bro. What do you got for Diva of the Week?
All right, we got Boo Chisholm, 9 receptions off of 10 targets, 3 touchdowns, 181 receiving yards, 20 yards per reception, and the game-winning score on the first night of Season 15 with 19 seconds to play to win the game.
That's awesome. So here's the deal with the Diva of the Week award. I guess I didn't finish explaining it right. The Diva of the Week award is kind of wide open. Whatever you think. Like, it could be a 57-yard field goal. It could be a celebration in the end zone that catches everybody's attention. It could be a 90-something yard, pick 6 for a touchdown. Whatever you want to do. It's wide open for these nominees. But eventually, it's going to be in the hands of you guys, the listeners. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get to add one more. So I got to tell you, I looked around. I had a hard time with this. I thought Dan Daly's catch in Vancouver at the 1 yard, that one-handed catch, I thought that was pretty diva-ish. I thought that Gabriel Manning had a diva game for sure. Even Foxy, getting a touchdown on your birthday, that's kind of diva-ish too. But at the end of the day, the one thing that impressed me out the gate and kind of stuck with me for the whole weekend was Bryant Dynasty's performance. So that the 379 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks in your rookie debut is about as diva as you get. So I will be nominating Bryant Dynasty. I'm writing it down. For Diva of the Week. So for those of you that will go in and vote, we have Evan Arthur, we've got Kramer Jackman, we've got Johnny Pickler, Frank Champion, Boo Chisholm, and Bryant Dynasty. Thus, as soon as it's up in the server, you guys can start voting. And what we'll do is on Thursday, we'll have the votes tallied up, and we will present the Diva of the Week award. Here's the other thing I'm going to do. In addition to getting a little weekly award thing, it's not a big deal. And listen, these giveaways, they're just a little something to show my appreciation. It's not like I'm, passing out $100 bills, y'all. But I just wanted to let everybody know how much I appreciate all the support that I've had on the show and how much I appreciate the support you're going to give me going forward, and especially during the season. As we talk about games every week, and we're really getting into the meat of the season. That being said, I think we squeezed it in an hour anyway. So I guess if we had callers, we would have gone over. As usual, thank you to the panel tonight, Chad Rowland, Eagle Mondavi, and Thomas Smith. Of course, thank you, Gunny, as always. Geralt for producing just an amazing show. Geralt, I'm going to go back there one more time. You guys see, the scrolling, you guys saw all the graphics. He crushed it this week. So this is what you have to look forward to every week coming on from now on. So let's, I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. Thank you. And give us some feedback. Let me know how you like the new, the way we're doing the show now. This is kind of, we're about the SFL. This show got started because of the SFL, so we want to talk about the SFL, and what's better to talk about than you guys and your games. So give me some feedback. Tell me if you like the new format or not. Thank you, Eagle, also for running my Discord for me and the server. Thank you to all the sponsors that were here. Again, if you want to put, if you want to advertise on here, you're more than welcome. And if you want to put your charity on here on the show, you're more than welcome. Just DM me and let me know. So please join us Thursday, again, 9 p.m. right here, Thursday on Twitch. See you at the Tees thing. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Twitch. We're going to preview week 2 games of season 15 in the SFL. So that being said, thank you everyone once again. I hope that you have a glorious night, and I will see you at the Tees.